at that time, I was still ignorant, and also I was just an inexperienced junior staff. So it's kind of embarrassing to look back in those days, and I feel embarrassed about all the mistakes that I made. But it was the first occasion in which I formed a team with the people and members from outside of Japan and work together. So where I struggled and at the same time learned a great deal is culture and communication. But all of a sudden, we have to sit in a different part of the table and start negotiate to sort out the liability of the company. So that's something not
So pleasant.
And we had a long negotiation, and it was not very easy. Sometimes the discussion heated up. However, what I tried is to maintain a very faithful and sincere position, because even if we fail once, it could happen that our paths come across again in the future, and we may work together again.
Hello viewers, I welcome you all in the podcast series Conversation with Business Shujaas. Today we have a very unique guest with us who comes from a country in the Far East which is known for its work ethics, innovations, and very distinguished culture. He comes from Japan and he has an illustrious professional career. He is the general manager, media and digital business of Sumitomo Corporation. Our today's guest is Mr. Yusuke Hiroshe. Mr. Hiroshe, I welcome you in our podcast. Thank you for giving us time from your busy schedule.
Thank you too for having me today. It's a very big honor for me to have this opportunity also. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would like to start from the very beginning of your professional career. So you joined Sumitomo Corporation right after finishing your uni. So and you term it as lifetime employment. So if you can just elaborate a bit about this lifetime employment to us, because in this part of the world, it is a kind of a unique concept.
Yeah, sure. Happy to explain about the lifetime employment. So it is a long-standing employment practice that's been employed by a lot of big corporates in Japan. And a lot of people after graduate the university join the company and work for the single company until they retire. So that's what the lifetime employment is. And I am also working for the same company over 20 years.
That is so great. That is so great. And as I remember, in India also, we have this concept of, we don't term it as you do as a lifetime employment, but actually people practice this, especially in the generations just earlier to ours. I remember my dad, my uncle, and their generation people, they used to start their career in a big corporate and they retired from there. And the kind of loyalty it provided, not only from the employee, but also the entire family. So that probably is the reason that drives these companies in Japan to go for this lifetime employment. I mean, I would like to get your perspective about it.
Yes, so I think in the old days, this practice has been accepted by lots of the corporates because it offers and provides the people with stable income and employment. And I think it is useful for the corporates in terms of fostering strong culture and loyalty to their corporates by the employees. But there is also, I think, flip side and drawbacks. So if you can imagine, you have to stick with one company for lifetime, so almost it's like 40 years. You have to be very, very careful in selecting a company. So I think nowadays, in a younger generation especially, I think more and more junior staffs are more frequently changing jobs. So now the system is gradually shifting towards incremental liquidity in terms of
Also, there also is some changes coming in the. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, as you were saying, it has pros and cons both. Like, yeah, you have to be very careful while choosing the company. So, may I know, like, what are the factors that you thought in favor of Sumitomo when you decided to join here?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you for asking that. So why I started to work for Sumitomo, or why I chose Sumitomo, is because Sumitomo deals with a business across multiple fields and industries across in a global scale. So I thought the corporate would provide me with a lot of opportunities to work in different fields, experience or businesses across multiple different industries. And also I wanted to work outside of Japan. So yeah, in a nutshell, so I won't get bored, I thought. And it's working fairly fine as I
I
expected.
clearly can see that.
Here I am in Kenya.
Yes. And you have so much of exposure in different places globally. So I would like to come to that. So your first global posting was in Saudi Arabia. And as you mentioned to me that there you had to work with different companies from different countries and cultures. So if you can tell us about how you blended with those multicultural work environment.
Yes, sure. So it's one of the contracts Sumitomo has won from Saudi Aramco, which is the state oil and gas producing company of Saudi Arabia. And our role was to construct a refinery plant in a middle of nowhere in a desert in the eastern part of Saudi Arabia. And so Sumitomo hired 4 different subcontractors to work on this project to construct the plant. And I was sent in to this construction site for almost 1 year to coordinate those 4 different subcontractors to work together to meet the deadline of the construction.
Okay. And what were the primary challenges that you faced there?
Yes. So at that time, I was still ignorant, and also I was just an inexperienced junior staff. So it's kind of embarrassing to look back in those days, and I feel embarrassed about all the mistakes that I made. But it was the first occasion in which I formed a team with the people and members from outside of Japan and work together. So where I struggled and at the same time learned a great deal is culture and communication. So what I initially did is everything in Japanese way. So speaking about communication, for example, so Japan is known to be a very, very high context culture where we rely on implicit understanding of each other. So we don't explicitly say something when we think someone should know or should understand. Whereas in a low context culture, it has to be very, very clearly stated. and directly conveyed to the counterpart. So that was my first mistake.
Oh yeah, this is one point. Yeah, I can understand it because in general, I've lived in Bangkok and I have visited Japan also. And let me say, I have very high regards for Japan, for culture, work ethics, everything. And I have seen that people are very subtle. And yes, and then maybe in some culture, it is important that you have to tell them very clearly what you want. Otherwise, if you are subtly implying, they will take no signal from it. So you initially you must have faced a lot of challenge in communicating because you thought, okay, I have told, so it will be done, and then you at the end of the day you see that nothing is done.
That's very true. So you've just mentioned a very good point, I think. So in terms of also the time management, it's so different. So when to Japanese people, if someone says the work will be done in 2 days, the work has to be done in 2 days. But that's that wasn't the case in this project.
I can very well understand that. Yes. In multicultural, diversified work environment, that is the biggest challenge actually. So, coping with the other person's culture, because when we come from one place, and especially you were saying it was your first assignment abroad, so there you are not exposed to those various work culture. It takes some time to even understand the uniqueness of everyone's culture. Everyone comes with some goodness and there will be some, some gaps. So to fill it up is really, and how did you do it? Did you spend time with your co-workers beyond office hours to just to get to know their things and all? If you can just tell us a little bit about it, because our viewers, a lot of them are young professionals, as a lot of them are startup entrepreneurs. So they would like to know about it.
So there were some ways for me to become more intimate with other members. Just like I mentioned earlier, the construction site was the middle of nowhere. So it was a sort of environment where we could naturally become very, very close to each other because there's no other things we can do.
Okay. And that kind of helped you to understand each other.
Yes.
And maybe in a few days' time, they also started understanding that you don't say very explicitly, but you really expect this thing or that thing. I think they also started understanding you better.
I think yes, but the strategy that I took is don't expect others to change. I should change.
Yeah, that is such a big thing you are saying. Oh, this is, how many people really think this way? We always expect, okay, I'm trying to understand, they will also understand me. But the way you are saying, this shows the humility that in general Japanese people have, that I have noticed always, that you are taking everything on you. That is
Because I was a junior at that time, and also I should, become more humble and more approach from my side. So that's the
I think our viewers are already getting takeaway points, and humility is definitely something that helps you in the long run to not only connect with the people but also achieving your goals. Yes. And the kind of respect and admiration humility brings, that is, I think, unmatchable with anything else. So thank you for elaborating this. Now I would like to go to the next phase. The second time you were posted in Russia, and first 1 year you went to St. Petersburg University just to learn the language 1 year. So Russian language is very different from your own language, and you are not learning it out of passion or anything. You are learning it for the purpose of your work. So how challenging was this?
it was incredibly tough to learn a completely different language from scratch, and I never had any contact with Russia until I get that assignment. So the first thing that I remember I did when I received this assignment was look for whether St. Petersburg is in the map. So it was my experience with Russia was such at level. But yeah,
But I can understand the kind of determination you had, so that in 1 year I have to learn it in a level so that in workplace I do not have any problem. So there also, like, what were your techniques? Like you started communicating with the locals more, or like if you can just tell us.
yes. So I think the fastest way is to become friends with local people. So since I went to the university, there are so many young Russian students out there. So I become friends with many of them, and also some of them share same hobbies. For example, some are very interested in Japanese cultures, like Budo, like karate, and others. And since I was also doing karate in Japan, so we get along together very quickly. And I tried to communicate with this friend in Russian most of the times, and that makes me develop my skills faster.
Okay. So by the end of 1 year, you were comfortable with the language to manage your work and everything.
So in terms of general language skills, I become more comfortable speaking. However, in the second years, it turned out that the business language is slightly different.
So it was academic languages. Okay.
So I had to learn, also continue to learn the business language.
As you were interacting with the business circle.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's so interesting, and it's so challenging also. I mean, once we are generally out of uni, we think, okay, we have learned whatever we had to do academically, and now we will learn from our work. And then again, if we have to go back to the university, a lot of people probably, I mean, will give up. It's not very easy thing, and absolutely, I salute you for that.
Thank you. But if you think about the benefit, learning new language is another skill that I get. And also, speaking about the Russian language, it's not exactly the same, but it's still being understood and used in some of the former Soviet Union countries. So I get the communication path to get to know, speak with more number of people in the world. So that's, I think, a very positive aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's yes, of course. If we learn something new, that always has advantage. But how many of us really has the courage to take it to that level? That is the main thing. You are saying it very easily, but I know it is not that easy. You had a lot of challenges, and you have worked very hard. I'm sure about that. So, and as Kenya is a English-speaking country, most of the people speak English. So I feel that when, because in India also mostly people speak English, but though in India we are multilingual because we have in our country different languages. But like a place like Kenya, where all the people speak English and it's a global language, the tendency to learn different languages might reduce a bit, because unless you are faced with challenges, I mean, I don't think people generally go for learning language unless you are passionate about it. I mean, so in a way, what you are saying, I think our viewers will take a cue, because if you learn the language of a place where you are going, you are always at advantageous position. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I believe it opens up the opportunity
Absolutely. Yeah, you get accepted more easily because when I was in Bangkok, they are also quite vernacular, their Thai language, and it's for anyone who is not from East or Southeast Asia, for them it's a very difficult language. But I actually started learning the language because I felt not only it will be easy to communicate, but also somewhere you get accepted. Even if I am not speaking perfectly, but they will accept me more because I am putting that effort.
That's the thing.
Yeah, so I'm sure for you that happened. Yes. Yeah, so from there, I'll go to the next phase, which is it is getting more and more interesting because in Russia, then you were giving the responsibility to open a data center. And as we were talking earlier, you mentioned to me that the market there was not ready at that point of time for data center. So, this is definitely a big challenge. And what were your strategies to penetrate that market, which was not ready for something you are offering? Our why I'm saying this, it is very very relevant for people in Kenya because the entrepreneurs who come, a lot of them come with new tech ideas, new green energy, this and that, which is very new to Kenyan market yet. And as a mentor of Startup Shujaa, as I interact with them, they say the biggest challenge is penetrating the market because the people I'm approaching and they can be my potential customer. They do not understand the product. We would really like to know how you did it.
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. Actually, the current market situation in Kenya very much overlaps with that of Russian market at that time. So yes, I feel there is a great deal of opportunity and potential in this market. So I established the first data center owned by the foreign investors in Moscow together with my partner. And at that time, like you kindly mentioned, there was very few data centers available in the market, and also the understanding of a data center and even the concept of cloud was not prevalent yet in the market. So I took a great deal to first educate the customers. I held numbers of seminars and also have organized a countless number of tours to the data centers. So those kind of efforts are very, very fundamental but important.
Okay. So you made your potential customers visit the data center to have a view and understanding of the place.
Yes.
Oh, that is so great. So the seminars were to create the literacy awareness about the concept and the products, and then taking them for tour means you give them the exposure to the thing. That is such a big thing. So the locals also started responding to it.
Mm-hmm. So seeing this, I think, believing, and people have finally understood. Oh, now I see what we were talking about. So that's the kind of thing. And also the game changer was when one of the largest cloud service provider actually came into the Russian market and have selected our data center to use our service. So because this company, I cannot mention the exact name, but is very, very well known, the global player. And the fact that this company have chosen us made most of the enterprise to also come to our data centers. So as soon as this cloud service provider came to us, then gradually the speed of our sales have increased, and all the spaces inside our data center have been filled up fairly quickly.
That means the trust level started increasing as the global player came. Yeah. So it kind of created that credibility and trust. Okay. And you were mentioning to me that another strategy for you was before probably this collaboration happened with this global player that you identified that since the local were not that much aware, so you kind of targeted the foreign companies, foreign players who were there in the market also. Yeah, so if you can just tell me a little bit about it.
That is very true. So thank you for mentioning that. So because one of the strong point or one of the characteristics of our data center was we are foreign owners. So taking advantage of that, we approached a lot of service providers or potential clients that were already inside Russia. And some clients was feeling still uneasy sometimes using the infrastructures offered by Russian state, for example, because basically the data center holds all the servers in which they host all the very important information or data that corporate has. So I think our service has helped them in providing more secure and safe environment to put their important data.
Okay, so yeah, again the trust factor comes in place, and yeah, there is a great learning that when even for a startup entrepreneur when they're starting, and for the brand building, this creating this credibility and trust is very, very important in the market, so that you get customers, and then word of mouth also happens, as in your case also happened. Like the trust they had, okay, in the local infrastructure, we don't know how much we can trust them with the data, but here is someone, and we know that our data will be absolutely protected because of the work ethics and how you deliver and those kind of things. So this is a big learning, viewers, that to build your brand and maintain the brand, it is very important to live up to a certain standard. Then only you can penetrate the market and keep penetrating the market. So yeah, this is really very, very interesting. And then next after this, in Russia, for your company, you were involved in creating a joint venture with a Russian company and between your company. But after a while, that kind of went into a rough patch, and you were facing a lot of problems. So how you coped up with that challenge, and from there, I know that ultimately your company came out of the crisis. So how did you
Yes. So this has actually happened before I set up the data center, but still, yes. So we founded a joint venture with one of the Russian partners to distribute Japanese contents. So that's the business we were working on. And however, unfortunately, at that time, there was a Lehman Brothers collapse, and from which the entire economy of Russia was severely hit, just like other markets. So unfortunately, our business didn't take off, and we had to liquidate the company. And this liquidation process was very, very painful.
Okay.
Yeah. And because we have been partners working together to achieve the same common goal until yesterday. But all of a sudden, we have to sit in a different part of the table and start negotiate to sort out the liability of the company. So that's something not
So pleasant.
And we had a long negotiation, and it was not very easy. Sometimes the discussion heated up. However, what I tried is to maintain a very faithful and sincere position, because even if we fail once, it could happen that we our paths come across again in the future, and we may work together again. So I didn't want to lose the trust of each other. And like I said, the failure came mostly from the external factor due to this economic crisis. So that's why I tried to amicably settle everything. And it took a great deal of tolerance, but I finally managed to complete the.
Yeah, so as you are a subtle person, I know you are speaking very less, but as you were saying, you have to show a lot of tolerance, and I can understand the pain that you have gone through there. But as you were mentioning that you never know, you may have to work with this person in future. So you do not want to spoil your relation with anyone, which is so important because in today's context, maybe because of the economic crisis or whatever, you are not really on the same platform or it's not working for you. But why to make someone your enemy, or why to go into a relation where you cannot see eye to eye? That's mark of a true gentleman, I would say. And I can easily understand the kind of patience and tolerance you have shown in negotiating those things. So that's also a very big learning for our viewers, and for me personally, I would say that sometimes I get frustrated, and then I try to tell myself, no, I cannot allow this frustration to overcome me. And I can, from your calmness and the way you were with smiling face, you were telling that yeah, it needed some tolerance. I can understand that how you maintain that. I mean, it's something probably comes from your culture also in a way ingrained, and you practice a lot of these things that how even in a heated conversation, I will not lose my temper. I will not lose my dignity. I have seen that in general in your culture. So do you practice such things, or you are like groomed like that to?
I believe it's not something that we are learning, but it's weaved in our culture somehow.
Yeah, it comes from generations, I suppose. But at our individual level, also, viewers, we all can practice it, and we should learn always the better things that we can get from other cultures. That I personally believe. I have also been fortunate enough to live in different countries, and I also try that. And Japanese culture, I really have a very high regards for. So this is one of the things that comes across from this episode, though this is a business related episode, but this is also a learning for any professional, any entrepreneur, especially for entrepreneurs, especially the startup entrepreneurs. At the beginning, people don't take you seriously. You have a challenge in convincing your investors, convincing your customers, convincing your colleagues, and at times it can make you frustrated. Sometimes you can feel that okay, others are letting me down, or am I becoming a smaller person? These things are really inspiring when if we can keep in mind that no, there is always a brighter side. I have to keep patience, I have to be more tolerant. So thank you for mentioning this to us.
Thank you too for your kind words. And I'd like to mention one more thing. So it's not this particular partner that I worked in the content business, but for the partner that I worked with data center business, they came to Kenya. So it's surprisingly, the world is very small. So
Yes, the world is very small. As you were saying, that we should not be in a relation like that so that we can't see eye to eye later on. You never know, never say never. Yeah.
so maintain relationship, not spoiling is very important, I think.
Yeah, that is so important. That's so important. And now that you are in Kenya and you are, you look after the Safaricom Ethiopia investment of your company, and also many other businesses in this region. So, one question that comes in my mind is how different or unique do you find this place from the other places you have walked in?
Yeah, so comparing with other markets that I had worked in the past, to be honest, I think Kenya is still at the developing stage economically. However, I think that can be treated as there is so much growth potential and possibility to do new things in Kenya. And also, there is still a limited number of big corporates in Kenya. So I think there is a great chance for the startups to do a great deal of business here in this market. So eyeing such situation or such environment, Sumitomo started the partnership with Safaricom and M-Pesa to launch the Spark Accelerator program, in which we also want to help the startups to unlock their growth by providing the assets such as access to network, access to customers, access to technology, etc. that Safaricom and M-Pesa owns and share it with startups, because I think those elements are very, very important for the growth of startups.
This is such a incredibly good news for our viewers that Sumitomo is providing such help to the startup entrepreneurs. So feel free to inquire about it. Through Safaricom, they can inquire.
Yes, so cohort 2 is now open, and call for application is open until the end of May. So please check this website of Safaricom Spark Accelerator, and if the viewers are interested, please apply.
Yeah, they will be interested. So, and Kenya has such a young population, and contrary to your country, actually, it's a very young population, and they are educated. I mean, education level is quite high here comparing to other developing countries. So that is one advantage for them to come up with new innovations, new ideas of startups. So I also personally feel there is a lot of potential in startups here, and big corporations like Sumitomo, if you are taking interest. So that's such a great news for our young entrepreneurs. Thank you to you and to Sumitomo for that. So we are coming closer to our conversation. It has been such a great conversation so far, and learning for me personally. So I would request you to say a few words to our viewers who believe in the tagline of Startup Shujaa, which is Dare to Dream Big.
Okay. So I think those viewers who are already interested in this YouTube, it has such a high aspirations and already challenging to achieve each of their goals. I would encourage everyone to keep on having those challenges. Try to expand your possibility as much as possible without fearing the failure. Failure makes you big. So I think the possibility is limitless. So please get out of your comfort zone and keep on challenging.
Thank you so much. And as you were saying that get out of the comfort zone, which you did so many times in your life as we were discussing. So going in the middle of the desert and working with people from very different culture itself was coming out of your comfort zone. So I think that is a big learning for our viewers, the entrepreneurs, even the young professionals. Please take these words and think over it, which is coming from a very, very accomplished professional. Thank you so much, Mr. Hiroshe. And it was lovely having you in our podcast.
I agree. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.